This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. Today we are talking Premier League, we're talking Serie A, we're talking some Champions League finals. We're having a special guest on, and then we had a special guest last week, which we're going to show you guys, so let's walk. All right, guys, right off the top, Alex Butter wants to know, was this the most boring final you have ever watched? Hashtag FA Cup. Probably not the most boring final. I think most finals are pretty boring. Teams are very defensive. They don't want to make mistakes. It takes a long time for them to open up if they ever do. But you're talking about Man United and Chelsea, two of the most boring teams in the last years in the league. Their style of play is boring. They're both very pragmatic defense-first teams, which earns them a lot of success, but it's certainly not going to be the most entertaining of games to watch. So I understand why that may have been a frustrating final to watch. Do you think Conte should be sacked? Well, he had a trophy this year, FA Cup. He had a trophy last year, the Premier League. I think they only finished with 10 losses on the season, actually, which is interesting because second and third place, which is Liverpool and Tottenham, United, and then it would be Liverpool, right? United and Liverpool? United and Tottenham. Yeah, they both had 7 losses on the season, I think, or maybe it was third and fourth, had 7 losses on the season. So it's talking about a 3-loss difference to put Chelsea down into the Europa League, which is disappointing. But I think if you look at it from a bird's eye view, I think Conte should be given a different chance. I know he's been linked to a lot of moves, and people started to get disappointed in him and say that he's kind of given up and all that stuff. But I say keep him for longer. But you know, Chelsea's probably not going to do that. Jack Pierce says, I thought Buffon was retiring. Why would he go to PSG? Well, PSG offered him 7 million euros per season, and he clearly thinks he still has it. Players don't think that they're done until they're probably done. I would say the majority of them don't think they're done until they can't get an offer that's worthwhile anymore. And as long as those offers are coming, you go to a PSG, you have Thomas Tuchel now. I know that their president has said he's not going there, but you have a guy like that joins your team. You already have a good goalkeeper there, can only help your locker room and increase your chances of winning the Champions League, and that's what they're trying to do. So I can understand why he wanted to do it, though I would have loved to have seen him retire as a Juve legend, though it's not meant to be. Can we get some love for Serie A? Lazio and Inter was the best match from the weekend. Inter back in the Champions League after 6 years. It was a crazy match, and Inter, that's pushed Lazio out, right, of the Champions League? And pushed Inter into the Champions League. That's crazy. It's good to see Inter back. If you remember the old Inter days, see guys, one of the best parts of this show is that you get to walk in real time and you get a nice little beep. This guy's going back as slow as he can to keep that beep going as long as possible for us. But yeah, incredible game. Serie A has been an interesting league this year. It's good to see them kind of getting the recognition they deserve. Sometimes there's this Serie A stereotype of it being boring and nobody wants to watch it, but they actually score a lot of goals in that league and it's a lot of fun to watch and a lot of entertaining teams, so amazing. No Nainggolan for Belgium, no Fabregas, Morata, or Marcos Alonso for Spain. Which is the biggest miss? I mean, on paper, you're talking about Fabregas or Morata, even though Fabregas is a little bit past it, hasn't had the best of years. Morata either, but he's young, and I think he could have helped the team in a big game in the World Cup. Marcos Alonso, though, is probably the biggest surprising one for me. Aaron, you think Marcos Alonso?
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of broke in, and he's had a good year, right?
I would have probably pulled him in over Nacho.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should have made it. He showed that he can play so many different positions, and when you look beyond your first 15, 16, we've talked about it so many times, it's all about versatility. That's a guy that can play anywhere on the field. And Nainggolan, I don't know, maybe it's a personality fit, maybe it doesn't make sense anymore for him to be in the Belgian squad, but he's certainly good enough to be there. A funny quote, not funny quote, but an interesting quote. Andy Robertson told The Guardian that it's a great challenge, but the problem with Real Madrid is that they're all fantastic players. If you focus on Ronaldo, then somebody else will pop up. But we'll have a game plan, we'll look at their strengths and weaknesses. So it kind of got me thinking, what are, obviously, we know what Real Madrid's strengths are. They can attack and they can score on anybody, and they have 11 world-class players on the field. On the flip side, their weaknesses, I think that's going down Marcelo's side, right? Marcelo attacks too much. He leaves that side a little bit vulnerable and exposed between him and Ramos. So are you speeding up on me right now? Are you trying to turn this into a jog? No, and so I think, exploiting that side, you're talking about Mohamed Salah is going to be attacking up that side. So that's the part that I think is their biggest weakness. Marcelo is obviously unbelievable and world-class attacker, but sometimes he's higher than the striker and he's an outside back. So next, guys, we got a chance, thanks to Pepsi, to sit down with Carli Lloyd, who has won the biggest tournaments in the world and was the World Player of the Year a couple times. And we asked her what her predictions are or what she thinks about the final and who she wants to win. So check this out.
So who have you got in the final on the men's side? Liverpool, Real Madrid?
Hands down, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm a Barca fan, so I'm obviously not a Real Madrid fan. Although I respect players and what they do, but yeah, I've actually been a Liverpool fan for quite some time, and it's great to see them doing so well, and I think they've got huge momentum, and I hope they go and do it.
Do you think that at least Liverpool is deserving of being in the final at this point with the season they've had?
Absolutely. I mean, they're fit, they're sharp, you know, they're building momentum coming into this final. They've been a very exciting team to watch, and you know, with obviously Coutinho's departure, you weren't sure how they were going to do, but they haven't skipped a beat, and they're looking really good.
What would be your dream final?
I was really hoping Barcelona would come away with a win.
Barca Real in a final?
Yeah, we have so many of those. I don't know. Barca Liverpool might have been a good one.
Guys, we're going to do a complete preview of the Champions League final on Wednesday on STFU, 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check that out. But guess what, guys? We have a special guest for us who's just released his first episode of a new season of The Movement, Calen Carr. Calen, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
Appreciate you taking time out of your valuable day. You're a celebrity now around these parts, well-traveled around the world. So your new episode of The Movement is out on MLS's YouTube channel, correct?
Indeed.
Is it still on the homepage?
It is.
Okay,
Yep.
Still on the homepage. You went to the UK for this episode to talk about Are Americans Good at Football? What was the general perception of people throughout your travels?
Well, first of all, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with you, sir.
Okay.
I met Vuj and Ellie at the COPA90 London office, and they gave me the red carpet treatment. I feel like you really haven't even invited me down to COPA90 US and showed me around, maybe had a beer. What's the deal?
Well, look, first of all, I've invited you multiple times, but you just don't want to come down here. This was convenient because you were coming from Brooklyn, so that made sense. So you hopped on the boat, you got the full experience. We gave you the full experience.
I'm living the Heath Pearce life right now. But these guys are a part of the episode, actually.
Yeah.
Talked to Ellie about supporter culture abroad and what his impressions are from his travels around the world. Looking across the pond at Atlanta United, at LAFC, and seeing how the league is growing. We met with Jeff Cameron, my old teammate for the Dynamo. Jack Harrison, who of course is now at Middlesbrough, but has sort of taken a different path coming to Major League Soccer to push on in his career, and then getting signed to go back over there, started in the Man U Academy. So looking at kind of how this relationship is changing, and I feel like COPA90 has been ahead of the game in a lot of ways as far as recognizing that, hey, look, you can be a supporter of the game here domestically from the lower leagues all the way up to MLS, but also have be at the pub and watching FA Cup or have your team abroad, Champions League, of course, being a big part too.
What was kind of the biggest, I guess, positive takeaway that people had in general? Was there anything that across the board somebody was saying or they were all saying together?
Well, I think so many people here have a little bit of an inferiority complex, a little bit, you know, but like nobody in my experience, and I'm sure in yours, was like, oh, you play in MLS? Like, that's not cool. Like everybody's like, oh wow, respect, you know? And I found that a lot more over there than people realize. And just really more than anything, I love football in all its forms. You know, it wasn't as negative as you would have thought, and people were pretty cool about it. So I met a guy at a pub who was a Darlington fan in the 6th league, I believe in 6th division over there. But he's a Red Bull New York fan. I was giving him a little bit of a hard time, like, hey, Red Bulls might be our best chance at a trophy, actually. So I think there's a lot of reasons people find a love for fandom across borders now.
Right. And do you think that there's still a long way to go to kind of convince people who may not watch games regularly or may watch games regularly about the quality of the league here or the unique kind of interesting perspectives about the league? Do you think we still have a long ways to go to convincing the majority of people, I guess from your international travels, that this is at least an entertaining league to watch?
I think the step forward is actually to stop convincing people and just let people find it for themselves. And if there was anything, I would love to see people here more than anything get over this sort of snobby sort of approach to being like, oh, you know, proper football is abroad. Because when I went over there, you know, there's always going to be people that are doubters, but there were a lot more people that were more open-minded than I expected. So I think that open-mindedness is something I would love to see continue to grow here in the States.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it from Calen. Wewe're going to keep you on for some more questions.
All right.
MLS YouTube channel. Go and check it out. The Movement. Episode 1 comes out every Thursday?
Every Thursday. Check it out on YouTube, MLS YouTube channel. And yeah, you'll see them each week. We're going through a couple other ones since I got some time on COPA90 right now. We're doing one on EMLS Cup, looking at the growth of FIFA and esports. went to Hawaii with Brian Ching, trying to figure out how we didn't make the World Cup and how we can get back in it, potentially looking at, underrepresented minorities in places that you wouldn't expect to go. And then the last one's looking at El Tri, MLS's best chance at glory at the World Cup.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, moving on to some MLS questions. Are the Red Bulls the team to beat in the East right now? They easily beat NYCFC, they handled Atlanta away from home.
Well, you have to say they're in the most form right now. Going down to Atlanta, winning that match in that environment is no easy task, and then going against their crosstown rivals. And I think this team actually fits a little bit better as an underdog than in years past. Maybe in the Heath Pearce glamour football days of Red Bulls with the big stars. I think this team enjoys being kind of the underdog role, going against Atlanta United or NYCFC with maybe some bigger stars. This group has come together. And then you got to give Bradley Wright Phillips a big shout out. He's leading the league now, I think tied with 8 goals for most in MLS. The guy is just so consistent.
Yeah, as soon as he hits his form, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. He can score anything. Rooney to MLS. Do you think it's happening, and do you think he has anything left?
First of all, I wish I had the juice to know exactly what was going on in some of the conversations in the MLS offices without me. But
you don't sit in on transfers?
I haven't gotten that type of call up yet. But you know what? I think this is a surprising move, only in the sense that MLS has made a shift. Most clubs are now looking to sign younger designated players. Miguel Almiron, Diego Rossi. That's kind of the new model for DP signings. So this one kind of catches you by surprise, but same time you have to make an exception for certain people. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Bastian Schweinsteiger, guys you played with, Thierry Henry, David Beckham, big world-class footballers that are still have something to give to the game. Rooney's only 32, and if you're looking at DC United week to week, there's no way you can say that he's not going to improve this team.
Right. Simon in the provisional roster for the World Cup for Belgium. Who do you think from MLS will have the biggest impact at the World Cup?
Carlos Vela. I think he's the one to watch. I mean, when you watch LAFC play right now,
he's so good.
Week in, week out. I mean, it looks like a little shades of Heath Pearce in men's league, just with that left-footed bender, into the top corner.
I never got used the right way, where they let me be on the right and come in on the left like that. That was the thing that I was.
Honestly, I was going to say that.
I honed that in my post.
Played more out of position, but luckily we found the right spot for you on the right flank as an inverted winger in men's league.
It's about finding the right teammates, the right manager, that type of thing, and I finally found that.
But I do think Vela, though, will make a big impact. I sat down recently with Juan Carlos Osorio, the Mexican national team coach. He coached me in Chicago, coached Cuauhtemoc Blanco, big personality, Mexican legend, handled him well, earned his respect in the locker room. So I think he's the type of manager that can get El Tri to get over this psychological hurdle of the round of 16 and potentially push them on to the quarterfinals, although they may have a matchup with Brazil waiting for them to get there. But I'm behind El Tri this summer.
All right, Calen. It's time for my favorite part of the show. We do this every week, just about every week, and that's to address the haters, because we want to give them as much attention as we give the people that give us love. So the first ones are for me, then we've got a couple special ones for you.
All right.
First one, that Chelsea guy needs to be on more often. And Heath, I feel that you can rock a Brexit fade, buzz it off. Okay, that's Dash you're talking about, and that I should get a Brexit fade. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I know what a fade is. Not really a hater, but kind of. Heath, what is that shirt? It's the ugliest looking shirt I've ever seen. That was from last week. I was wearing a Portland Timbers, the reigning champ one. Yeah.
You get all the influencer gear, man. How do you get? Who's your plug?
I don't get the influencer gear.
I see you and Aaron West every week in the newest kits and all the low key.
No, I get the one reigning champ thing every year, and I've been 3 years running. So
so
I think it's more of a streak now. Yeah, I just wash it a lot, and it's black, so it looks like I got something new, but it's the same thing I'm wearing all the time. I like the tales of Heath just walking. And the little break from the segment. I hate that Heath is wearing a fanny pack that way, though. That was from last week also. I was wearing a fanny pack.
I do like that too, when the beat just drops for a second and then it's just you just kind of
crossbody bag. Yeah, at me in the comments. You know what I mean? All right, Calen. Yeah, Calen. It's time for some little bit of some of it's the hater stuff, some of it's not.
Okay.
WTF is Lonzo doing in the thumbnail from your?
I saw that a couple times. You know what's funny is when I was at the COPA90 UK office, everyone was calling me Coutinho.
Okay.
They're like, I didn't know Coutinho was a presenter as well. But I don't know.
Actually, I really see that now.
Lonzo Ball, I wish I had some game like that.
You should start saying football instead of soccer in the first place.
Yeah, isn't that like
That's one
every
of the most
comment on
common.
YouTube?
Yeah, that's like everyone.
But if you actually watch the Movement UK, Arlo White, NBC sports presenter, will actually explain the history of the word soccer and football and how soccer is actually a British term, which I didn't know, but I learned on the
Association soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it came from. It was the British elite were saying that.
Yeah.
Calen has not aged at all. I want whatever he's drinking. That's not a hater. That's a compliment.
That's so
Don't
nice.
send-
Wow.
Don't send this guy
Who
on-
was that?
on-
Send me
on-
their name.
That was Rob Anthony.
Rob.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob. Yeah.
That's nice of him.
You know, every once in a while, throw a face mask on, you know, after a long, hard day of shooting football ducks.
Yeah, man. I wish somebody had said that to me. Every comment I get is, Heath looks old.
No, man. Come on.
He looks
the
like-
man bun will keep you young.
Are those
always.
bags under your eyes natural? That's what I get. Yeah, you look tired. That's the one I most common get is, you look
You're like,
tired.
dude, I got
That's 'cause I
kids,
am
man.
tired,
Yeah.
man.
The father of two.
Yeah. So that's it, dude. Thank you, Calen.
Amazing. Thanks
Guys,
for having me on.
thank you so much. Make sure you get down in the comments, like, subscribe, and let us know what you think of the movement.
Check Heath and I out every week in Men's League. Bowery Prem. We'll see you there.
See ya.